Hello, my name is Chris Kennedy and I am the Revalidation and CPD Coordinator at the college. I'd like to use this video to show you how to reflect upon an event which you've attended, and this would be an event which has been through the college approvals process. There is a separate video which shows how to search for approved events, but in the example here you can see that the event has now taken place in the past, and it's an event that requires attention from me, requires action, and the action is that I need to reflect upon it in order for my CPD credits to become activated. So if I click on the event link, and you can see that this event requires a CPD activity. So I click on CPD activity, and then I associate this activity with the event that I've attended. There might be a whole long list of events here which I've attended, and it would be a case of clicking on the associate option for the relevant event. So I'm going to do that here. You can see that I've got a reminder now that my activity form relates to the attendance of the Airway event, which took place on the 30th of July, and the event was approved for 5 CPD credits. And there were various items associated with the event. There were CPD Skills, GMP Domains and Medical Educator Domains, which were specified by the event provider when the application was made. But I'll show in a minute how I can actually change or add to any of these items, which is a big enhancement on the previous version of the CPD Online Diary. So I need to add an event title, and I'm going to add my reflection as a delegate. I might also have taken part in the event as a member of the faculty, and if that was the case, I would add a new CPD activity. I would again associate the activity with the event, and then I would add my separate reflection if I was a faculty member. But in this situation, I'm going to add reflection as a delegate. I select the activity type from the drop-down list, and in this situation, it would be educational courses and events. And I would then add the event start date and the event end date. This was only a one-day event on the 30th of July, but if it had been a 3-day event and perhaps I'd only attended for the first and second days, then that would be why I would add the dates in here as applicable. And again, that's a big enhancement on the previous version where these dates were fixed and they couldn't be edited at all. I then need to add some text into the details box. So if I just add in here, I'm reflecting as a delegate. And next up, we have the sections for the GMP domains, the medical educator domains, and also a little bit further down, the CPD skills. And I mentioned earlier how during the approvals process, these have been specified by the event provider and approved on that basis. But I do have full editorial control if, for example, some of the CPD skills changed during the event that I actually attended. So you can see on here that there were 4 CPD skills specified by the event provider, and if I click on the associate option, these CPD skills will now appear near the bottom of my activity form. But if I click on the update option, I can add new CPD skills, I can select or deselect as applicable to the event that I actually attended. So in this situation, I'm going to select all of the Airway options. If I now scroll down to the bottom of the CPD skills form, you can see there are quite a lot of CPD skills, and we have guidance on the college website about how the CPD skills work. I click on Add Skills, and all of those Airway options now, if I go down to the bottom of my form, all of those Airway options, all of those skills that I selected do now appear. So I've had the option of editing and changing the skills which were initially specified by the event provider. If I can demonstrate through my reflection that those CPD skills, those additional skills were covered, then that's perfectly acceptable for me to edit the form in that way. We have 2 GMP domains which were specified by the event provider during the approvals process. And if I click on the Associate button, what's really neat is that the two boxes appear and now get ticked here on the form. But again, I can select, deselect as applicable, depending on what was actually covered during the event. And then it's a similar situation also for the medical educator domains. If I click on the Associate button, the boxes get ticked there, but again I can select or deselect additional domains which were covered during the actual event. The credits earned box is a free text box, and the reason for that is because the event might have run on for longer than was initially specified, or using the example of the 3-day event, if I attended only for 2 days, then the CPD credits would need to be adjusted accordingly. And again, that's a big enhancement on the previous version where this box was fixed and couldn't be changed. But for this event, 5 CPD credits were specified by the event provider, and I'm going to type in 5 credits here. I then need to click the external box because these were external CPD credits. And then if I just scroll down to the bottom of the page, I can add a supporting document. So if, for example, I've got my attendance certificate, I can add that in there. And if not, I then need to add my reflection in order for my credits to become activated. So you can see the reminder at the top there that this is my reflection on my activity, my reflection as a delegate, which is associated with the airway event that I attended. And what's really good on this page is that the learning outcomes appear. This again is a big enhancement from the previous version of the CPD Online Diary, where the learning outcomes didn't appear on the reflection page, and it was really fiddly to have to keep going backwards and forwards in order to actually see what the learning outcomes were. But the learning outcomes do appear here, so I need to add my reflection, and for the benefits of this video, I'm just going to add the word example in each of those boxes, just to show how this all works at the end. We do have guidance on the college website about how to add meaningful reflections, so please do have a look at that. We then have the curriculum competency section, which doesn't apply here, so that should be ignored. And then if I click on Save and Return to Dashboard, you can see that the upcoming CPD events, the event has now disappeared from there, and where it says CPD credits, my 5 external credits are now appearing there. There will be a separate video on how to see the CPD activity report, but that concludes this video on how to reflect upon an event which I've attended. For any further information, please do contact cpd@rcoa.ac.uk.